unmute. No kidding. It's like, I've been there the whole time.
Yeah.
No, it even says on air.
I've
Yep.
been in the walls.
That's right. And speaking of inside the walls, welcome to another edition of Moonhawk Studios Presents, everybody. I am your host, Mac Paladin, and we've got a great show for you tonight. With me in the studio, as always, is my good friend Adam.
Inside the Walls is a very different show.
Give it time.
And also, on top of the fourth wall would be a different show entirely.
And
Yes,
might involve
it would.
paying someone royalties.
Mm-hmm.
No, you don't have to pay royalties for making a reference. Thank you very much.
I don't know. It's Link
And
Clara you're talking about.
speaking of references, Kevin's in the house.
Boy, has it been a chaotic night or what?
You have no idea.
Apparently,
Penny fan.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I don't want to do that because I'll do something that'll probably require me singing, and we can't do that on here. So go on. Speaking of royalties,
Yeah.
don't want to give any royalties to Jimi Hendrix estate.
Barely holding the technicals together with his bare hands is Penny fan.
It burns so good. Wait, no, hold on.
And that's a $2 violation.
Good thing I don't have to pay those.
And wearing the unusual yet strangely unbranded hats, the Golics.
Hello, how's it going?
All right, big show tonight, so we'll get right to it. Adam, give me the news.
The news is
This is family issues.
Family.
it's not family issues. It's just it's spring break, and the kids are here all day, every day for a week. So, and I'm the one who has to look after them most of the time because my brother he does Uber Eats and only Uber Eats. So that means he's like Mac on a variable work schedule.
I mean, I have a pretty consistent schedule. I just sometimes work longer or shorter hours depending on my whims.
Right, and that happened
Also,
tonight.
I allow those filthy people in my car.
Well, that's one of the reasons why my brother doesn't go full on Uber. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I take the drunks, the louts, the window lickers.
yeah, the considerations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but during Fragments, I was technically watching the kids, as in keeping an ear out and making sure no rambunctiousness broke out,
Or
Or too many long silences, because those are bad as well.
Yes, they are. And children are draining, very, very draining. Doubly so when you have them around for a week.
Yeah. Or if you're susceptible to emotional vampirism.
Okay. Like.
Anyway.
Anyway,
also I've been dealing with my doctor's office and getting a prescription refilled. My blood pressure medication's coming up here. I have 4 pills left. Was out of refills, so had to call the office. Had to go down to the doctor's office to actually get them to refill the prescription. And the good news is that's finally happened. The bad news is Walgreens hasn't let me know when that's getting filled, so I may have to call the office again in case I run out of pills and need a few more if like they're not done by Monday or something like that.
Lovely.
So yeah, that's been my week. Kevin?
Well, thankfully this week, it's back to the normal drive-by situation, and I have really nothing to say except normal stuff at work, and everything's fine here at home. So, Petty, what's going on in your world?
I have
Oh,
not
boy.
gotten a lot of sleep this last week.
The explosive decompression of that sigh I felt in my soul.
We have the insurance adjuster coming.
I would assume that I would have felt it in my soul if I had one, being a redhead.
Same.
Waka waka.
But yeah, we have the insurance adjuster coming to look at the roof tomorrow morning. So we've been getting the house cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
And just
Yeah,
the
I know how that
stress
works.
of that, because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if we need a new roof, that is going to be annoying. Like, insurance will cover it at least, but, like, just dealing with them ripping the roof apart above my head for what
not
could
having
be a
a
few
roof.
days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
having no roof and hope the weather doesn't screw around.
We'll schedule it to like the drier part of the season, so
that's good.
because we're starting to be in the like dry season here in Missouri, where it's like before the spring rains start. So if we can get it started relatively soon, then we won't have to worry about like any more water ingress or bullshit like that. So yeah, it's just mostly been the mental draining aspect of having to get up early, help with cleaning. I've got like maybe 12 hours of sleep this week. So yeah, it's not been fun.
Yeah.
And I guess some other fun thing that happened is one of our new friends, mom's friend, coworker from work, me and her husband are starting to get along, and he was looking to get his PSP modded. Well, I have a mod PSP, and I was gonna look and make sure my stuff still works, so I went to charge my PlayStation, or charge my PSP. Battery popped.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's...
Oh dear.
It doesn't have a whole lot of power in it, so it's currently sitting in an aluminum coffin.
Oh
until
dear.
this weekend, till we can take it to Interstate and get it recycled.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened. That's what happened to my PSP. Now it just operates on the electrical cord because I have the official Sony TV out cord for mine.
Yeah, I don't have that, so I can't see if my PSP still works.
Oh dear.
I mean, you can still use it as a handheld with the charger. You can. It doesn't need the battery as for pass through power.
Ooh, that might be a problem then, because it wasn't going to turn on without the battery. Oh, fun.
Yeah, because my Darth Vader edition 2000 series PSP works just fine without any battery at all.
I will have to look at that then. I have a new battery sitting in my Amazon cart. So I'll just order it, and hopefully it springs back to life and I don't need to, replace my PlayStation. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, PSPs aren't that expensive. And honestly, if this is dead, I may just say screw it and get a Vita. I don't have much in the way of UMDs laying around. So, and a Vita can play all my PSP games.
And if you jailbreak it, you can download every PSP game ever made.
Yeah.
Is it dusty in here?
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's something I can look into. So
and you'll also get TV out.
Yeah.
USB cable.
Oh, they actually added that. That might actually be
No,
useful
no,
because
no. Do the special modification process that I alluded to.
yeah, because like
Not native.
oh yeah,
It's literally they just didn't include it in the operating system. So Sony was like, so the hardware is all physically there for it in
Right.
the handheld Vita, but the operating system doesn't have it. So you have to download some things.
and yeah,
Wink,
that's
wink.
fine. I've fucked around with stuff before. I have a modded 3DS and a modded PSP, so yeah. That's
Yeah,
gonna be fun to mess with, so I may look into that if they're not too expensive.
it's a pain in the ass, but the thing is, you can do all of it at home for free.
Yeah.
You just have to get a special version of the content manager, and again, that's all available online for free. So
Looks over at archive.org. I mean, you
the reason
laugh, but
the reason I did it was so I could record game footage of me playing the English translation patch from Life Bottle of Tales of Innocence R,
mm-hmm.
and download all the DLC for it.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as like the rest of my news stuff, it's been mostly getting stuff cleaned up and, you know, finding out my PSP battery decided it didn't want to exist anymore. I also may have gotten another person into the Digimon card game, the aforementioned, and, you know, coworker husband, so it's becoming hilarious. I'm becoming patient zero for getting people into the Digimon card game. I already got Ogre into it. Potentially got one more into it. So yeah, I like when I, you know, force my will upon people. Wait, no, hold on.
Wow.
Well,
Sounds like you should be on a list somewhere.
Probably, but not for that reason.
That's just a full body cringe.
Damn, dude. Raising. Jesus.
But I couldn't turn away, bro. Somebody has to be the cringe.
well.
Anyway, I think that's it for me. I'm now going to be sent off to a gulag, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got no shortage of cringe on the Professionally Unprofessional podcast.
As always.
I'm looking at you, Filthy February 2011.
Anyway.
All right. So before we go into any more tangents, was that everything?
That was everything, yes.
All right, let's hear from the Golics.
He might be muted.
I am. I have
Yeah.
been having a really rough few days. I don't know how much I want to talk about it, but work has been, our remote desktop that we have to use for working at home has been down. Parking around the office has been a pain because they're doing a bunch of construction.
Mm.
And a few other things. But on the plus side, my aunt and cousin visited yesterday, so that was nice. I think that's about all I really got.
Okay. Well, in the realm of Mac Paladin, we have diddling with solar power for fun and profit. Still working on the profit part. Also still working on the fun part, but anyway, I digress. Found some interesting trinkets at the surplus store that have genuinely enhanced my lifestyle here. Added, first of all, before that, I added a third battery to my battery array. So for those of you who know anything about building a solar setup in your home, your battery bank or battery array, depending on what part of the world you're originating from, is sort of the critical lifeblood of this whole system. I found that having a lot of high wattage solar panels is really not the key to this whole thing. It's
Almost
having
like the sun
enough
isn't out
storage.
24 hours a day.
Yeah, so it's putting the
Well,
energy
that's what the
somewhere.
battery is for.
Right. It's putting the energy somewhere so your refrigerator stays on while the lights are also turned on. So I got a third battery. I've been dealing mostly with Harbor Freight, and so the only battery that they carry is a 35 ampere hour. I finally got the specs online, and it's 420 watt hours per battery. So I now have 4, 8, 12 plus carry the one 1,260 watt hours of runtime. So yeah, so if I was only using 35 amps per hour, each battery would last 20 hours. Obviously, you can't run a household off of 35 amps. So now I have 3 of them. I am going to be upgrading to 5 toot sweet, as they say, and I think then I'll be able to keep my charging stations / battery generators operational long enough that for the sun to come back up before they go dead, and then I'll actually be living like a normal human again.
Wouldn't go that far, bro.
Or something vague, or some vague facsimile thereof. Tested the garbage disposal with my current 750 watt inverter, and it went at me. So that was a no-go. But I found this. I was at the surplus store, and I found this really cool custom built pass-through switch. It literally has a 3-prong connector like the back of your computer, mounted to a little panel, and it has 2 outlets and a switch. And I was like, gosh, I could get like a little conduit and a light switch and some AWG cable and a electrical plug and a grounded receptacle, and then make like my own bypass switch, because like this is really crazy stuff. It's, if you want to get your garbage disposal on solar, you have to understand that the switch that turns the garbage disposal on and off is hardwired into the place. And then there's like a custom wired outlet under the sink in your house. Nobody ever thinks about this stuff because it's one of those out of sight, out of mind type things. And this is a dilemma that I've been trying to work around. Is I needed a bypass switch so that when I run my dishwasher, the garbage disposal just isn't on for 4 hours. And lo and behold, I found it for $2 at the surplus room at Elliott's. Yeah. It literally was not there yesterday. The guy told me, he's like, "Oh man, I got it in last night after you left," and I was like, "Eureka!" The very thing I came here looking for in the first place. And he goes, "I know, dude."
We have all the wares you could possibly need, just not when you're here.
Step into my parlor, gentlemen. Yes, but yeah, I found that, and it's just, I don't know. It's just it's my zen place, because like I was in the buy, sell, and trade part of the computer business for 17 of my 25 years in retail. And specifically around computers and electronics. I was a computer technician. You guys know my story. And so being able to solve problems like this, of course, makes my ADHD brain go brr.
Mood.
And so I'm sitting here at 8:48 at night with lights on, a mini fridge working, almost able to run my dishwasher and garbage disposal, and I'm just sitting here just reveling in the possibilities. I know we got to go full Homer Simpson nerd, but it's important to me, God damn it, and this is my show. But yeah, I don't know. I've been having some interesting times with this. I got a line on a couple more solar panels. I've got a wind turbine in my shopping cart and an appropriate charge controller for that. And I need to get a slightly more powerful inverter so I don't blow the circuit again. And then I think I'm set. I can actually live like it was always this way. That was my mini fridge kicking in and alerting my inverter that it needed more power. That's the hospital beep you keep hearing. Oh man.
So the end is not near.
No, not really. Not yet, but close. So yeah, and I'm rebuilding dead uninterruptible power supplies with Temu batteries. You pick them up at the thrift store for $5. They don't work because the batteries are dead, and then you go on Temu and get a replacement battery for $15 and have it shipped to you. And now you've got a $150 UPS for $20. Pretty sweetheart deal, if you ask me. And if you're willing to deploy the duct tape, you can get the 15 ampere hour battery, shove it in there, and tape it all together, and have twice the power. In your uninterruptible power supply, because I'm ghetto like that. But as always, more as this develops. I think that's pretty much it for me, because other than that, it's just me working 12-hour days. So let's get to the nitty-gritty of this whole thing. All right, so tonight we have on the program Tactical Bacon of Tactical Bacon Productions. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Tactical Bacon Productions and what you do.
Ooh, that is
It's a big question, I know, but it's a standard lead-in.
well, it's a big question because it's one of those things where what I do is I don't know. I do like 12 different things, and as the channel has existed, it's kind of like my focus has shifted multiple times, obviously, as any creative endeavor does.
Right.
Well, more or less these days, what I do is and what my channel is basically, here's what I'm currently interested in. Here's a video about it. So, whether it's me talking about specific games that rip off other games, or whether it's, hey, I just have a sudden urge to play the Futurama game and want to see how that is for the first time. Movies, TV shows, games, those are kind of obviously like the three things that I cover most. Obviously, there I do have other interests I wish I could cover, but unfortunately, not really the audience for that. I'd like to talk about hockey, but yeah, nobody's coming to me for hockey discussion.
2 minutes for high sticking.
Elbows up. So yeah, like there's no. I've always considered my channel just kind of like flying by the seat of my pants, where it's just like, yeah, here's an idea, let's run with it. If it works, cool. If it doesn't, okay, moving on to the next thing. Obviously, I have a lot of things I've covered. My primary two things are Twisted Metal and God of War. Although I'm taking a break from Twisted Metal right now. I kind of burnt myself off from that last year. Burnt my Was that English? And
Start myself off. That's an interesting turn of phrase.
Yes. Burnt myself out, I believe is the word I was trying to say.
That's like a phraseology portmanteau of burning the candle at both ends, and I don't know. Anyway,
no, it's funny too because recently I covered the Legend of Spyro trilogy, which has a character named Malefor, and somebody told me that a Malefor is actually the incorrect mixing of two metaphors. So it's like we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. That's a Malefor, apparently.
Which is a combination of metaphor and malapropism.
The more you know. So, yeah,
it's a portmanteau of metaphor and malapropism.
But
and now we've come full circle.
So yeah, other than that, I recently I've been delving into the Spyro series. I wish I could delve more into The Last of Us. That's one of my favorite franchises. Unfortunately, not something that's not something a lot of people look kindly on. So I think I answered your question there. What is my channel? What do I do? It's
I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to more specifics. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Adam now because he has the list.
You just made the list, apparently.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so that's actually another thing I'm never going to cover is wrestling because I love wrestling, but the internet wrestling community is
yes.
Feral.
Yeah,
let's go with feral.
I'm not touching that.
You can talk to Kevin later.
It is no. It is a very, very, very toxic river. Not worth diving.
I think Chernobyl's a safer place to be, bro.
Yeah, not safe.
Inside the reactor at 3 Mile Island.
Tribal and warring. You want none of that.
Mm.
Anyway.
All right, Adam, take it away.
I suppose the first question is, what is tactical bacon?
Oh, well, if you're asking me why the channel's called that, apparently Tactical Bacon was actually bacon in a can. I didn't realize that until long after I actually made the channel name. The name is actually it actually comes from a Ross's Game Dungeon episode. If you guys watch Ross's Game Dungeon,
we've talked to him way back in the day.
Oh shit!
Back in the Freeman's Mind era.
Yeah. Well, Freeman's Mind's still going. It just takes fucking forever.
Yeah. In fact, we tried to have him on the program like last year, but that got interrupted by the Dead Game campaign.
Yeah. But yeah, and in one of his episodes, and this was around the time when my old channel was kind of on its last legs, and I was just deciding I wanted to try something new. And I was watching one of his Halloween episodes. I think it was like Halloween Sampler Part 1. He was doing this like DayZ, like 2D DayZ type game. And he picked up an item called Tactical Bacon, and he just said, in the way Ross does, Tactical Bacon. And I'm just like, oh, I'm stealing that. So that is the story of why my channel's called that. And unfortunately,
one of those that would be a really good name for a rock band moments.
Yeah,
Lore explained.
Yeah, but Tactical Bacon apparently is actually a thing, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of regret the name in hindsight, but I got to commit to it because it's the brand, right?
Right. We got to be stubborn about that branding thing.
Well, yeah, because 100,000, 120,000 people are subscribed to me. If they suddenly see, this other name has uploaded video, who the hell's that?
I know channels that have faced this dilemma.
Yep.
Didn't you, Nitro Rad?
I faced this dilemma on my old channel.
Well, at least it's good to know where that came from, and you are certainly committed to the bit. Actual baking opens up, into a vanity plate.
Yep.
Thank God you filled that dead void right there, because I was about to chant Cobra Law.
If you say so.
Anyway, so you mentioned that the major topics that you cover are God of War and Twisted Metal, which is kind of a random assortment of franchises, especially Twisted Metal. Like,
you're telling me.
Because before the Peacock show, Twisted Metal hasn't been alive since what, 2013?
2012, I think, actually.
That hasn't been that long.
Yep.
So, the question becomes, how did you fall into the Twisted Metal rabbit hole?
So, back in 2020, as with most people, I was dealing with pandemic-based unemployment. And so around that time, I just decided, hey, I'm just going to play all these like different games that I kind of want to revisit/visit. And when it comes to Twisted Metal, like I'd played Twisted Metal Black when I was younger. It was something my brother gave me. And I saw that it was on the PlayStation Store. And I was drunk one night and decided on a whim to buy it. And for some reason, it just instantly became one of my favorite games, Twisted Metal Black. And I got to that minion twist at the end where you unlock minion and you can decipher all the codes and you learn, oh shit, the story to this game goes a lot deeper than I initially thought. And I looked online to see if anybody had really covered this, and nobody had. So I'm like, well, shit, I guess this is my opening. And this was during the very early days of my channel where I was just kind of throwing shit at the wall to see what people like may or may not be interested in. And that video at the time got like 20,000 views over the course of like 6 months, which was a big deal for me. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, clearly there's a niche here. And I'm interested in this series. And I kind of grew more interested as time went on. And that kind of ended up becoming one of the pillars of my channel. And I really think it just comes down to the fact that, and I don't want to sound egotistical here, but I don't think anybody before me was really covering Twisted Metal the way I was. And it's impossible not to sound like a total fucking douchebag when I say that like that.
You're saying, but you're probably right. Like,
yeah,
because
like
genuinely was exploring the deep lore of Twisted Metal.
Yeah, like you had reviews and playthroughs and stuff, but nobody was really examining it from this particular angle. And so that just kind of became
that works in the world of today with fandom wikis and deep lore dumps and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so have you covered the entire breadth and scope of the Twisted Metal au revoir yet?
No, I'd say there's still some more stuff I have in the chamber, so to speak. Like, I have a giant list of video ideas in my Google Drive that are labeled high priority, medium priority, and low priority. And I just moved some Twisted Metal based topics from like low priority to high priority because obviously coming up in a few months is season 2, and I'm like, yeah, gonna get a little bit back in on the action as season 2 gets closer.
Right. And have you engaged with the Twisted Metal Peacock show on your channel, or is it just strictly the video games?
Oh yeah, I covered. Actually, I'm not sure if it was one video or 2 videos off the top of my head when I was preceding the TV show, because I was convinced the TV show was gonna be awful based on various factors, including that horrible fucking first trailer where they're singing the thong song. If you've seen it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Was it Anthony Mackie who plays a character called John Doe, and it is like fighting Sweet Tooth in a casino, and then the thong song plays, and they both sing along. It is the worst. It is the worst scene in the entire show, and they chose to make that the first introduction. And then after the show came out, I covered it, and surprisingly, it was really good. It was not high art whatsoever, but it was every bit of schlocky fun that you would hope for. And I've
that fits with the Twisted Metal in general. Like,
yeah,
don't think I want high art Twisted Metal.
Oh God, no! Like Twisted Metal Black and the Twisted Metal games that preceded it are two very different things, obviously, as far as tone is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad they leaned into the wackiness, because something like this really can't take itself too seriously in a long format, I think.
Yeah.
looks fondly at my long box copy of Twisted Metal for the PS1.
Fuck yeah, dude.
What's funny is I actually have two legitimate copies of Twisted Metal. I have the long box that I recently reacquired, and I also have a PlayStation Mini.
Well, I also have two copies of Twisted Metal 1. I have the long box version and the greatest hits version. But that's because I bought the greatest hits version, and then I was at Too Many Games a couple years ago, and I'm a big long box guy. Like, that's kind of like one of my big collectible thing that I really enjoy buying. And there was just like a long box copy of Twisted Metal 1, and I'm just like, okay, well, I guess I'm spending $40.
Oh,
yeah.
Original Resident Evil, Twisted Metal, Space Griffin VF9.
Yeah, funny thing about long box copy of Resident Evil, one of my fans just randomly decided to send me like a care package of games and included a long box copy of Resident Evil. It's one of those cases where it's one of those slap in the face moments to remind you, man, fans are awesome. It's very easy to take fans for granted, you know?
Yeah, Space Griffin VF9 was an obscure Atlas quasi-action RPG that came out at the very beginning of the PlayStation era, and I got it back in '96, right after I bought my PS1, and that's the only game from that era that I have never sold and rebought.
Okay,
and
question. Which month of 1996?
Well, I picked up my PS1 from layaway at Circuit City in October of '96, and I bought my copy of Space Griffin VF9 in November.
Oh God, you've owned that game longer than I've been alive.
I did say in the pre-show I'm 48 and falling apart, so.
Well, this podcast has been going since what, 2009?
Yeah.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah. Fuck me, I was 12 in 2009. Sorry.
Oh my God.
We're supposed to have our existential dread later.
I've been in the webcomic scene since 1999.
Our guest was literally a baby.
I've been a novelist since 1998. So yeah, I've been around for a while. I'm one of the elder ents of this industry. All right, back to the interrogation, Adam.
Yeah.
Do I have to get one of those detective lamps?
As long as it's LED based, we want to be environmentally conscious.
Anyway,
and it's also brighter.
Right. Anyway, so on the flip side, God of War. Probably easier to speculate on how you got into that as the other main facet of your series, but why don't you tell us how that all fell into place, nonetheless?
Huh. Well, this is actually a coincidence because the 20-year anniversary is on Saturday, and I have a 20-year anniversary review for the game coming out, and I say this in the video as well, but I'll obviously say it here because it'd be a dick move otherwise. I've been a fan of God of War pretty much ever since I first saw it, and the first time I saw it was in a copy of the Guinness Book of World Records Gamer Edition 2009. There was a full page spread on God of War in that book, and something about it just struck me. And by that point, my brother had played it, and later on, my sister bought the HD collection. I backseated that with her, and then my brother eventually gave me his copies of God of War 1 and 2, and basically, the rest is history. Like, I've been a fan ever since, and I took an extended break, but it was one of those ones where I took an extended break, and then during the aforementioned unemployment of 2020, I decided to replay the trilogy, and I'm like, oh right, that's why I like these games. And then I kind of gradually learned to appreciate the series more and more as time's gone on, and I'm confident in saying it's probably my favorite video game franchise just ever now. And that's another one where I released a couple videos. They did relatively well, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still interested in this. I'm still interested in talking more about this. And the first video to really take off as far as God of War didn't really take off until like a year and a bit afterwards. But by that point, I'd made like 5 videos because I just fucking love God of War. What can I say? A fanboy, proudly a fanboy, in fact.
So, do you enjoy the older games more, or do you prefer the current arc? Say,
well, I think it's unfair to compare them because they are very different. They are very different games going for very different things. God of War 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. So just on that front, I think I enjoy the previous games more. The way I would describe it is God of War 3 is an S tier game. God of War 1 and 2, and then the 2 Norse games are what I would consider A tier. And then like kind of below that, you have like B tier and C tier, which is just the prequels, which I can take or leave. But yeah, like just on that basis, I love the old school games more, but that's not to take away from the modern games, obviously. Like God of War Ragnarok, I think, is one of very few games to actually make me cry. And that's no easy feat.
I can't really speak to that because I've not played them. So, but
which is fair.
Interesting to know. And I suppose it's also worth mentioning the maybe not secret, but the third most popular topic on your channel seems to be Grand Theft Auto.
It's funny because when I was mentioning what my channel is, I realized, as you just said, I'm like, oh right, I forgot about the other thing. Yeah.
Like, and I think I recall watching your Grand Theft Auto trilogy video, and you mentioned that the initial Grand Theft Auto trilogy video went viral, if I'm not mistaken.
The one from 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it pointed out, well, just how shit this thing was looking.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned that upset a lot of people.
Yeah, that was an interesting week.
Oh boy. I think I can parse some of the things that can happen just right off the bat. Harassment and death threats come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't get to death threats, but like there was definitely a lot of like ceaseless harassment. And because the thing about Grand Theft Auto is because it's obviously, potentially the most popular like video game franchise in the world. You just because there's more fans, there's more crazy fans, and it's like, who is clicking on a video talking about the potential shortcomings of an upcoming like anticipated release other than the crazy fans?
Well, also the not just crazy fans, but the hardcores in general. They're the ones who are going to look into like comparison videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
God.
Especially since gamer culture in general is very tech focused, and we've got people losing their shit over puddles.
Oh God.
Yeah, I guess for those who don't know, I'm referring to like a
Spider-Man.
quote unquote controversy in Insomniac Spider-Man 2, where like a puddle of rainwater didn't look as realistic as it could, or something like that. And
I think it was like the puddle was like smaller on release compared to the trailer or something.
I honestly could not be arsed to parse the details of this dumb shit. Because, am I wrong?
God.
Adam, please.
Well, it's one of those things that, like, I feel like if you live any semblance of a normal life, it's one of those things where you really take a step back and you realize, wow, none of this shit matters. Like, some people just some people just take these things way too seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, every Monday I sit here and play every Monday I sit here and play a 21-year-old MMORPG. So
yeah. Well, there's a reason why this happens. Beyond simple human tribalism, that is part of the equation, and that's money. That's it's the same thing that fuels the console wars. These devices, they cost a lot of money. Getting a gamer PC costs a lot of money. So these people feel the need to justify their purchase in very aggressive ways.
Not just monetarily, but also just personal time investment.
I mean,
right. Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir with me. I was in the industry for 25 years.
No doubt. And like these gamer arguments aren't any removed to the Sega Genesis Super Nintendo arguments I was having in the 8th grade.
Well,
Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah.
Nintendo is what Genesis isn't.
Which would have been a...
I always said Nintendo does what Segant.
Well, if I may psychoanalyze a little bit as well, I do also think, and I brought this up in my Legend of Spyro video briefly, where people who aren't happy with where they are in life or where their lives are going will put themselves and put pieces of themselves into things, benign things like video games, to give them their lives some semblance of meaning, because some people just are fundamentally unhappy people, and that's just life. Sometimes it's not necessarily anything wrong with that. It's just
some people are as shallow as that undersized puddle.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the problem becomes obviously when they put so much of themselves into benign things that when things don't shake out, they flip out, because you're not just attacking the thing they like, you're attacking a piece of them. Quite frankly, you see this a lot in Sonic discourse, which I have friends. I'm not personally a fan of Sonic, but I have a lot of friends who are fans, and they deal with that a lot. My friend Jay's Reviews is very known for that. and he's had some very colorful things said about him.
I can imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sonic fandom. Oh dear God.
Yeah, as a Sonic fan, yeah, I know they are a different breed.
Yeah, and that can be positive sometimes. Like
Oh yeah, like the
Project
projects they
06.
have made, but some of the more vocal crazy of the fan base might need to
I-
go out and touch grass.
Yeah, not to get too. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I just remember we weren't allowed to talk about Sonic colors with Naka.
Well, not to get too didactic. Fun $2 word. I don't know why I said that. But Sonic is one of those things where the fan base does not do middle ground. They are 100% all the time, and that means that can be good. So like you have
for
people
the
like
original
making
movie CGI Sonic, everyone hated it.
Yeah.
And
you know,
few
just
instances of them coming together, and it was terrifying.
well, it's one of those cases where like if something is bad, like Sonic 06 is bad, but then like in a lot of franchises, that's the end of it. It's like, okay, there's a bad game, but then just with Sonic fans, it's just like there's one crazy person who's just like, you know what, I'm gonna fix that, and then Project 06 happens. So it's like it's the most passionate fan base on the internet, which is both a good and bad thing, depending on the circumstance.
And depending on what fan art you're looking at.
Oh God, don't remind me.
I have looked up My Name the Hedgehog, yes. There have been several terrifying entries in that.
Let's stay away from that.
Yeah,
area.
I'll go deal with that in
please.
therapy later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about Chris Chan and Sonic Shoe.
Yeah. Let's back way the fuck up.
We don't want to talk about Ken Penders.
The artist?
Yes.
Oh, that's a story.
Oh God, that's a firecracker on its own.
The worst artist to ever work on the DC Star Trek comics.
I mean, yes, you're not wrong, but like, oh God, you haven't seen his Sonic art, have you?
Oh no.
I'm like, oh, I'm not dragging that curse shit out. They're like, I like my eyeballs. Like, let's just say, he was a fan of Princess Sally.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was certainly a lot of explanations over those depictions. Like, but like I said, I do not want to get deeper into this shit.
Yeah, let's move on quicker than as fast as our feet can take us.
Yeah.
Let's make like a bread truck and haul buns away from this topic.
Yeah. A good
let's make like a tree and fuck off.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because you are also a big fan of the Spyro series.
Correct.
Yeah. In fact, you have a video here called "Why the Original Trilogy Will Never Be Beat" or something like that.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you mean Enter the Dragonfly isn't your favorite game? Why am I having things thrown at me?
You know, it's sad.
Yeah.
That's actually like one of my favorite games in the series. It's like it's probably my fifth favorite, but then again, for me, it's like it's the original trilogy. It's Dawn of the Dragon, and then it's everything else.
Are we being droll? Are we being droll right now? Am I being punked? No, seriously.
But you've taken an interesting perspective here in that you remembered that the Legend of Spyro trilogy exists.
Oh, I remember it. It's one of the most significant video game franchises that's in my life, basically, because there was it was one of those background antagonists for a number of years until I grew the fuck up and actually played the games.
Indeed. But like so much of the Spyro discourse, not just on YouTube but in general, is usually around the first 3 games, and then maybe Enter the Dragonfly, maybe, but you certainly don't get a lot about Legend of Spyro. Like,
yeah, for sure. Like, the thing about the Legend of Spyro is it has its dedicated fans, but obviously it came out at a time when the series was obviously falling off pretty hard. It 90 success led to 2000 stagnation, and they're like, okay, well, this isn't working, let's try something new. And yeah, the thing about the Legend games is you do get a lot of discussion of it as far as like on the subreddits and the forums and whatnot, if the forums even still exist. I remember those from back in the day. But yeah, the thing about the Legend of Spyro is not a lot of people outside of like the hardcore fan base really knows about it. I remember back when I was I think I was 18 or 19. Yeah, I think I was 19, and I was at my buddy Aaron's place, and it was just a bunch of us from high school, because this is like after we graduated, but before we drifted apart. And my buddy Aaron was actually taken aback at the idea that there were more Spyro games outside of the original trilogy. And it that always stuck with me, because it's like it really paints a picture of the difference between the hardcore fans and the people who just, played the original trilogy when they were growing up. It's also baked out of my mind that day. Before it was legal too, so I might have just admitted to a crime.
It's fine.
I think the statute of limitations is up even in Canada.
Yeah, fair. Like, even if it wasn't, I'd probably just get pardoned, because it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Who cares?
We're not gonna get you ex post facto.
Anyway,
those are certainly words you just said.
Yeah. Latin for after the fact.
Okay.
That is a fairly nuanced take on the Legend of Spyro series, since critique and criticism around the titles tend to be on the not shallow side, but it's, these aren't the Insomniac game trilogy, therefore they're bad kind of deal.
Yeah, it's different and therefore ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And obviously not the only segment of Spyro, let's say, where this conversation is had, but
Look over at the Skylanders on my desk.
Yeah. I mean, Skylanders is a different argument.
I am aware, but at the same time.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's not just to say, it's a different... It's because, Spyro in the jumping off point for Skylanders.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the second reboot, and then they kind of veered away from having Spyro being much to do with it at all.
Yeah, it was
that's actually not
Spyro's Kingdom
true.
at first, I think, right?
I'm like,
correction incoming.
That's actually well, no, like in the games, Spyro got de-emphasized. In the TV series, he's still the main character. Yes, there's a Skylanders TV series on Netflix.
That apparently went for like 6 seasons or something.
4 seasons. Crash Bandicoot shows up as well.
Yeah, because he was in the tie-in where he got his own Skylander figured, so I figure why not?
Yeah, back in that weird nether realm where Crash Bandicoot was like still dead, but they were testing the waters to see if they could bring him back.
Yeah. I mean, Crash and Spyro are surprisingly resilient, if nothing else.
Mhm.
Though they also thankfully took breaks because the Vivendi era of Spyro and Crash is just marked with them flogging the series over and over again.
Yearly releases after yearly
firing
releases.
firing the games out of a cannon practically.
Basically.
Yeah. And not just like on console, but they had a shitload of GBA and DS games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh god, just the Spyro Orange and Crash Purple duo, literally worst games I've ever played in my goddamn life. like
those were
it,
wretched.
it's funny because on my old channel I did a review of the Crash Purple, and it was the only review on that entire channel where I spent the entire video yelling at the top of my lungs because that's how mad the game made me. 2017 was a long time ago.
I yelled at that game too. It scared some neighbors. Not even joking about that.
No.
I believe you.
Like, yeah. Thankfully, most of the other Game Boy Advance, Crash, and Spyro games are better. Like, they're not amazing like some people think, but they're good, solid GBA efforts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I suppose it's worth asking, what did you think about the Spyro reboot? The
Reignited trilogy?
Yeah, that's the one.
I have complicated feelings on the Reignited trilogy because, the original trilogy is so close to my heart in so many ways, and it's one of those cases where I can't not be biased because of just my personal feelings on that. But I've kind of learned to embrace that. The idea that it's like, yeah, okay, I'm biased, awesome. That's just the way it is. And so it's like there are a lot of aspects I really don't like about the Reignited trilogy, and I just, can't I can't feel any different about it, but I choose to accept that. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing that always gets me are just the cutscenes. I hate the cutscenes. It's like they took a lot of the personality away from these characters and made them very just took the edge off, you know what I mean? And also, the voice acting in Spyro 1 is awful because it's just Tom Kenny doing a really bad impression of Carlos Alazraki as opposed to just getting Carlos Alazraki back. And so it just sounds forced a lot of the time. And so it's just it's one of those cases where I'll play the trilogy. Gameplay wise, it's perfect. Not perfect, but it's as close to the originals as you can get.
Yeah. They didn't fuck up the physics or anything like that like they did with Sonic Mania.
With Crash. But it's one of those cases where I will skip every single cutscene, and if given the choice, I'll play the original versions. But I have a copy of the Reignited trilogy for the Switch, and if I'm traveling, I'm I'll play the Reignited trilogy and just like I said, skip every cutscene.
I mean, it's also kind of hard to play the original versions if you don't have a PSP Vita.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have a laptop of any varying degrees of power, DuckStation's pretty easy to get running. It's just, laptops are a bit tough to, take on the plane or whatever.
I mean, or Steam Deck if you know what you're doing. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
True enough. Steam Deck is one of those. Yes. Steam Deck is one of those things where I kind of want to get one, but I'm not sure if I can really justify the cost for how much I'm going to use it right now.
Yeah, it's one of those, if you have a decent computer and you don't really travel a whole lot, there's no justifiable need to get one.
Yeah.
especially if you have a laptop, there's like a lot less of a justifiable need to get a Steam Deck.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, what you'd want to do is be able to write that off as a tax expense.
The wheels are turning.
Oh God. Just reminds me I have to get my taxes done, and that's not going to be fun.
No. When
Never
do
is.
Canadians have to pay their taxes?
I'm still trying to decide how I want to do that this year.
Gotta-
I think tax season ends at the end of April, so like, so I think not to bore the audience or whatever, but like I believe the cutoff for RRSPs is the end of March, so like it'll count if you put money into your RRSPs, it'll count for the previous fiscal year up to the end of March.
Hmm.
But that's boring.
My
No
cat
doubt.
Tippy says hello.
And with these let's say franchises, do you cover related topics? Like, for example, the obvious one is, okay, you cover Spyro games. Do you cover Crash games as well?
Mm-hmm. Well, my philosophy has always been, if I'm not interested in a topic, then my opinion is meaningless. And Crash is one of those things where I was into it for a little while, and then I kind of like stopped playing the games, and I tried to come back to them, and I kind of realized, I'm not really into Crash Bandicoot the same way I used to be. So, like, in that respect, it's one of those cases where I just don't have the interest to really justify my opinion actually mattering at all. That was a word salad sentence, but I hope it made some level of sense.
No, I get what you're saying. You don't have any passion for it, so
Yeah.
you do not feel that you could bring a good enough presentation to the table.
Yeah. It's like, if I'm not interested, I'll leave it to the experts, basically. But it's one of those things where, like, it's not necessarily about related topics or whatever. It's like, am I personally interested in this enough for my opinion to mean anything? I'm just gonna look at my shelf for a second. Like, I don't know, Ratchet and Clank, for example. That's one that I've covered in the past. It's like, that's one where, despite previous issues I've had with the fans, that's still one that I have enough interest in that I feel like I could make a topic or a video series on it, or I don't know, Shadow of the Colossus. That's completely another random example, not related to anything I've ever covered, but I would love to talk about that game in some way in the future.
Right. I get what you're saying. And it's a good enough philosophy to work by. As somebody who reviews a lot of games weekly, I can definitely relate to, coming across a subject that I don't have a lot of interest or I don't have a lot to say about. But, in that case, we kind of have to press on forward because those are obligations that have been sent to us.
Yeah.
More often than not. So,
and your release schedule is weekly, so you kind of are somewhat obligated in that sense. Whereas my release schedule is basically whenever I'm done.
Yeah. Which is why, like, for example, when we review stuff, we don't finish games. hardly ever. Now that doesn't mean like every game that we review is something that has an ending. We play a lot of skill-based games, or something along those lines as well. But the ultimate point is, we all encountered that game where it's fine, it's okay, or it's just kind of dull, and but we still have to talk about it and just kind of end up repeating the same point because there's nothing else to say. And it doesn't necessarily make for a good video, but I'm like, this was sent to us for review, so review it. We shall.
Because we can't review games in a vacuum as much as some publishers would want us to.
Yep.
There are oftentimes there are better games than what you're trying to peddle at a cheaper price.
Yeah.
Right.
And everyone has interests. Not everyone is nobody is interested in every game that comes out.
Right. And especially with our review pile tends to be a very diverse set of games, if nothing else. Like, we don't define ourselves by reviewing RPGs or platformers or racing games or, any one genre. Any one topic.
Occasionally, if we have a lull in the schedule, we throw in like a personal pick.
Or something needs to be replaced because something's not working. Which happens a good deal of the time, actually, because especially since we review so many things on PC. PC gaming in general is just, oh hey, this isn't working, so it's either gotta hunker down and figure out what's the problem, send it to somebody else, that kind of thing. So, ultimately, I understand completely where you're coming from and respect your choice here, because, that is the preferred approach, I think. You want to speak about the things that you are not just interested in, but you have actual love for, or some kind of emotional connection.
Yeah.
Like
something where what I'm saying actually has meaning.
But I suppose that begs the question, is that something that bore out through trial and error? Like, did you try talking about a game that you weren't interested in, or is that just a natural conclusion that you arrived at before you made a video or something like that?
As far as Crash Bandicoot, or just my entire philosophy?
Your entire philosophy.
Oh, this comes up again. It all has to do with my old channel. And I mean, I've mentioned it multiple times, so I should, at least clarify. I had this old channel called TGX Game Reviews, where it was one of those things where it eventually got to the point where I just wasn't interested in the videos that was being expected of me from my audience on that channel, so I started something new. But the thing about that channel especially was there were times when I was just, picking random games to cover. And I think the one that really made me realize this was, and I apologize if any of you guys are fans of this game, Croc and the Legend of the Gobos. Because I just on a whim chose to review that game on my old channel, and I played it, and it was just mind-numbingly okay. And it just got and I reviewed it, and I'm just like, I have nothing interesting to say. It's just this is such an okay game that it's boring to me, and I just not necessarily boring as a game, but boring to talk about. And I realized at that point, why am I just picking random games? I should just stick to things that I know I'm interested in and have something to say about.
Yeah,
So I guess
that's fair enough.
I guess it was trial and error then. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on the subject of Croc Legend of the Gobos, I actually have a few bones to pick with that game, but it's not its fault that it has tank controls. It's just, it came out in 1996 on the PlayStation.
Yep.
Saturn. Um.
It's like,
Anyway.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I've run through my gamut of questions. So I'll see if any of my colleagues here have anything further for you.
I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good for now.
I've never been ashamed to speak up during the podcast, Adam.
I know. Like, that's more for, everyone else.
Sure.
Um,
All right. So, got any appearances or special events coming up that you would like to promote?
Well, I never leave my house. No, okay. Well, nothing. Not as far as appearances. Nothing I can publicly talk about. Obviously, like I said earlier, my big video that's coming out that everybody should check out come Saturday is the 20-year anniversary of God of War review. 20 years. That's just reminds me of how old we're all getting. But yeah, otherwise, I was fiddling around with a video while we were talking. That's probably going to come out tomorrow. That's also God of War related, which I guess I should announce. It's a video about which character in God of War deserved to die the most.
Oh boy!
Spoilers, it's Kratos. Wait, what?
Wow.
No. To qualify, you have to stay dead.
Oh shit.
There you go.
Well, I guess it's not really encapsulated in the title, but it's really just of all the people that Kratos killed, who had it coming to them the most. And in that respect, there's really only 3 characters who could qualify as 10 out of 10 as far as having it coming.
I mean, in fairness, all the Olympus gods were all assholes. Literally just a den of assholes up there.
I just call that the Rockstar Gambit. Because it's like every time you're playing Red Dead Redemption.
Well, that is true that that they're all assholes, but also a few of them are kind of justified. Like Poseidon, in Ghost of Sparta, Kratos just destroyed Atlantis. Poseidon has an axe to grind, I'd say in that respect.
Yeah.
It's like. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I really have to promote. Yeah, I don't. I mean, if I had any convention appearances, I'd let you guys know. But
not at the moment.
Yeah, it's not really a person my size 10 years ago would get invited to conventions. Not anymore. In fact, I have a couple of friends. My friend Golden Bolt is trying to get a thing organized for Too Many Games next year, and he has 150K, and collectively him and his friends have 350 or something. But they're just yeah, no, unless you're AVGN size, go fuck yourself.
Jeez. Before you know it, we'll all have to be Markiplier size before we could get an invite.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're still trying to get him on this show.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. I've got an in. I've got an in. I've been friends with his older brother Tom since 2004.
Really? He's the furry, right?
Yes, the creator of
Yeah.
Two Kinds, Tom Fishbach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The fact that he's a furry is literally the only thing I know about him. There's like a meme about him at some point.
Not that we want to put labels on it or anything.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm an accepting person, you know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, hey,
Yeah,
furries get a bad
there's-
rep. Furries get a bad rep. Much like Sonic
Whoa.
fans, you know, it's a spectrum of
Look,
like
hear me
some
out.
are crazy,
If a
but a lot are
plane-
just regular people.
If a plane
Yeah.
full of furries
Uh-huh.
go down, the entire IT sector is done.
Pretty much,
it
yeah.
True enough.
I just came off of our return on Monday because Shadows Mist and I were off City of Heroes for the past 3 weeks, and we just came back, and she was regaling us with stories of being the con chair at several conventions of that
Hmm.
nature.
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
Nice.
or being on the committee, you know, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, very familiar with the drama.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. That was great. We enjoyed having you on the program, and as things develop, we'll have to have you come back.
Yeah, I enjoyed being on, and I enjoyed the fact that you guys aren't nuts.
Well, we are nuts, but we're the you can be around
We're the good
us
kind.
nuts, not the
Yeah,
type
gonna-
that
I
can
was
be
gonna-
punched immediately.
I was going to say, I was going to say we are assholes. We're just fun assholes.
Yeah.
You're not the
Right.
type of people who will just casually talk about how you're reading Mein Kampf, basically.
Oh yeah.
How sex of people should be, sent to camps.
Right.
SECT, just in case anybody didn't understand that clearly.
Right.
Clarity.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you for being on the show, and of course, everybody be sure to check out Tactical Bacon's YouTube channel and everything else of that nature. We'll try to boost those numbers so you can get the AVGN level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And then my life will finally mean something.
right.
The subscriber number is the
Oh,
only
boy.
thing to validate me at this point.
Oh boy.
But yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
All
You're
right.
welcome to stay for the entertainment section, but that's coming up next. So without much further ado, Adam, what do we got?
Well, so first off, we start with Warner Brothers.
Mhm.
And
And scene.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
We actually have quite a bit of Looney Tunes stuff to get through here.
What Looney Tunes?
Well, that I suppose that's a good place to start. So, what was it on Monday? It was announced or discovered. I'm honestly not sure which, but the rest of the Looney Tunes shorts got kicked off of Max.
Mhm.
Oh boy.
Now,
Wait, I'm just gonna cut in for a second. Yeah, so I'm gonna upload a video now, so my internet's gonna die, so I can't really
Okay,
stick
it's
around.
Totally
But,
fine. Have a good
you're-
evening.
That's fine.
good.
Good having you.
Just wanted to say that
No.
before I
Nah.
before I left awkwardly. All right, have a good night.
No
Yeah, you're
problem.
good. Then you're good to go. You have a good night, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
all right.
Anyway,
So,
So off of
like you were
Max.
saying,
Yeah.
Ava Max. Yeah.
all right. So, on the one hand, the action here is pretty abhorrent.
Pretty abhorrent.
Because it's another in a long lines of signs that Warner Brothers Discovery is treating animation in
Yeah,
general.
they seem to be literally embarrassed of the fact that Looney Tunes is them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it's Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
One
Well,
of
well-
the,
Mhm.
or at least it was one of the biggest cartoon entertainment brands of all time.
Literally
And-
second
Yep.
only to the fucking mouse himself.
Yeah.
And if Warner Brothers feels that Looney Tunes isn't carrying its weight, that's on you, fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest here and let's be fair here. This is not just a Discovery administration issue. This has been an issue going back for, I don't know, probably almost 20 years at this point.
Yeah.
Like this has been a multi-administration problem. It's only gotten worse in the last 10 years between AT&T and Discovery, but let's be fair, this is not a new problem.
If you want to know what was the iceberg that sank the SS Looney Tunes, it was Looney Tunes back in action.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah, but
Oh, God.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's 20 years since then, and the mindset has not changed a bit.
Because
So
Lord knows what we needed was more. What we needed, because Lord knows what we needed was more integration between animation and live action, because that's what the public was clamoring for.
Well,
yeah.
On the other hand, I did see something about they might be considering selling friggin' Coyote versus Acme to someone.
Okay, like I said, there's a lot of stuff here, so
yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
Because the whole internet got into a frenzy over this, but they needed to calm the fuck down like when something gets removed that's of the level of the Looney Tunes, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. Somebody was going to pick it up. This isn't like as told by Ginger something.
Right.
It's like Warner Brothers may not see the value in Looney Tunes, but others do. Yeah. And in the case of the Looney Tunes shorts, they've already got a new home. Surprise, surprise. And that's probably the reason they got chucked off. I know they put out some bullshit about prioritizing family and adult programming, kids programming.
No, they prioritizing. It was a family programming and another word. It's not kids though, but prioritizing family programming. Never mind the fact that Looney Tunes is supposed.
It's not even a good lie. Okay.
Because the Looney Tunes is supposed to be the definition of family programming. The definition.
The original ones were adult entertainment.
Yes. Yeah. But what I'm getting at is supposed to be they're not just kids stuff. Is what I'm getting at, right?
Anyway,
it's come that way. Anyway.
Yeah, we don't need to argue about semantics here. The point is the Looney Tunes shorts have not become fucking lost media, haven't been lost to the ages.
If nothing else, they were in plenty of archives.
Yeah, also, Warner Brothers, okay, their streaming service treatment is fucking awful, but their disc printing has actually been really good.
The DVDs are everywhere.
It's not just that, but they have a literal thing called the Warner Archives, where they will print you out discs of their obscure shit.
I thought you want to get that. I thought they discontinued that service because it was unprofitable.
As far as I know, it still exists. But it's like if you wanted to get, say, Challenge of the GoBots, you contact them and they print you out a disc. Anyway, but getting back to what's actually relevant here, Tubi has picked up Looney Tunes. So, which is arguably a better prospect for Looney Tunes as a brand, because ever since Warner Brothers recobbled all of the Looney Tunes rights back under one house, they have hoarded it in the House of Cartoon Network, And by extension, Max for roughly about 25 years. You know, like the last of the old contracts ended in 1999, 2000. Then, in fact, I remember it was like Junebug 2000 or 2001 where they hyped up having being able to show every Bugs Bunny cartoon ever. But that had the simultaneous effect of diminishing the monoculture, if you will, because Looney Tunes was something that you found on a lot of channels, a lot of places, a lot of spaces.
Not to be invoking people that I'm allegedly having a cold feud with, but this was actually something that Marias was working on for a long time, which was she had a producer friend who was polarizing public domain videos such as the old Warner Brothers shorts. And so a lot of this stuff has actually fallen into the public domain anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So Warner Brothers isn't the only person allowed to profit off of it.
Pretty much.
So it's just, you touched on something that reminded me of that fact that colorizing and remastering these videos is kind of a cottage industry online right now. There's actually quite a few different studios and outfits that are acquiring these films in bulk and either colorizing them or remastering them for Blu-ray and stuff like that. So just throwing that out there.
But the big point I'm getting here is Tubi is free. Like, yes, Tubi is the house of junk, and Tubi is ad run. I'm like, look, they got to pay the bills somehow. But
I will say this though, Tubi's library is pretty damn good. I'll say that. Actually, their on-demand library is full of a lot of unique and interesting stuff if you dig deep, and this just adds to it.
And Looney Tunes being on Tubi is a good opportunity for Looney Tunes to get reintroduced to the children of the world, or the children of America at the very least, because that I think is missing from the the diets of the youth, because I don't think my niece and nephews know who Bugs Bunny is. That is a long-term problem, right?
But have they heard of his alter ego, Big Chungus? Sorry, I can't unhear that. Have you guys seen the friggin'
we've seen
Metal Gear Solid codec conversation?
Oh boy!
I just wanted to give everybody a little breaking news here. At the top of the Warner Archive website right now, just now released the 1944 classic Gaslight.
Well,
oddly
isn't
topical.
That ironic? Topical, yes, isn't that ironic?
Oddly fitting of the times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, seriously, the Warner Archive does great work.
Ooh, Thundar the Barbarian Season 2.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so in regards to Coyote versus Acme, I don't know if it's official yet, but what Galax was talking about is this outfit called Ketchup Entertainment, which they're the ones who say that Looney Tunes movie that came out this past weekend.
The day the Earth blew up. What the reporting is? Deadline reported it first today. The reporting is that it's not official yet, but that they're on the right track.
Right.
Meaning that they're far enough along to where they're at least reporting this.
Yeah. And apparently this entertainment outfit, which I've never heard of before this week, has $50 million lying around somewhere, because that's apparently the price tag that this
Look, all I know
versus Acme movie.
Look, all I know that in terms of this, in terms of the day that just blew up, they put it into a lot of screens. Didn't do a lot of marketing for it, but that's probably more of a case of, they don't have that much money. But
once again, if you catch up entertainment,
right? This is an indie. This is an indie. It's an indie firm. Yeah. They did that. All I know is that they put it in theaters. So they put it out. They put it out there in a mass release. It looks like we're going to get a home video release. I think it was in May. I think I saw May 27th. I think it was. But it's up on pre-order on Amazon and elsewhere right now. So all I know is that if they pick up Coyote versus Acme, they're going to put it in theaters and they're going to do a home video release. And considering all the shit that went down because of this, that would be a miracle.
Yeah. At the very least, it's not getting. Yeah, it's not getting written off for a tax break.
Right. It's getting lifted out of the void that it was sent into.
Yeah.
And not that's of course if it indeed becomes official, which it might still not. It might, there might be something happen last minute, so on and so forth, but hopefully it does, and we will probably hear about it within the next couple of months, because if indeed this doesn't go through, they are planning a release next year. So that's the plan. The plan is, if the deal goes through, is to have a 2026 release. So all I know is that it is good news.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Which is rare when talking about Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah, because somebody actually gives a damn about the Looney Tunes. Surprise, surprise!
Right. Anyway, I think that'll about do it for entertainment news this week.
Yeah. I need to see about heading to bed shortly.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Let me bring back up the document here. The historical documents. Shit. Technology.
Yeah.
Pins.
I play the Jeopardy music, but I'm pretty sure we'd be dinged.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless we were dinged and because of Merv Griffin.
At this point, who knows?
Yeah.
Isn't it Fremantle Media now?
Yeah, but it's also Merv's family too, because that was technically his composition. So.
All right, here we go. March 26th, episode 14. Joey Galvez of the Geek Collective. So Adam wanted to give us a little color on that.
Well, he's a comic book creator. And much like a lot of indie comic book creators we have on the program these days, he's got a Kickstarter that is launching in the near future. He is kickstarting I Need Your Skin, Book 1, a supernatural slasher. Nora Perkins has a fear of aging, and she thinks a clairvoyant can help her. A deal will be made for a small piece of her flesh. So yeah, it's a horror supernatural slasher from the creative minds behind Grandma Chainsaw, Hocus Hocus, and Archetypes, an independent geek culture magazine. So look forward to that.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to that. And of course, a big thank you to our guest this week, Tactical Bacon of Tactical Bacon Productions. And be sure to check him out on YouTube and anywhere where y'all get your video entertainment from that's legal and stuff. I'm tired. It's been a long week. Anyway, that's it for Moonhawk Studios Presents for this week, kids. I'm your host, Mac Paladin. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.